Hello, welcome to part 2 of the series of the book Attached. And in this video, we'll be discussing about the anxious attachment style. So I'm assuming if you're watching this, hi, my anxious user, welcome to this video. And in this video, we'll be dissecting how you view your relationships, your romantic relationships specifically, as an anxious individual, and what are the certain triggers that you have and what are your reactions to those triggers. These will be important and these will help you understand if you have an anxious attachment style or not. So let's dive right into it. Anxious attachment style: living with a sixth sense for danger. If you have an anxious attachment style, you possess a unique ability to sense when your relationship is threatened. Even a slight hint that something may be wrong will activate your attachment system, and once it's activated, you are unable to calm down until you get a clear indication from your partner that he or she is truly there for you and that the relationship is safe. These are signs that show that you have an anxious attachment style. People with an anxious attachment style are indeed more vigilant to changes in others' emotional expression. Vigilant to changes means you will be very quick to understand as a person कब तुम्हारे partner का emotional expression change हुआ है, या they are not wanting to open up, या they are not wanting to talk about something. If you have an anxious attachment style, तुम्हें ये चीज़ बहुत quickly समझ आ जाएगी. And you can have a higher degree of accuracy and sensitivity to other people's cues. मतलब अगर आपका पार्टनर बस बैठा हुआ है या उसने बस एक दो वर्ड्स में रिस्पॉन्ड किया है, एज एन एंग्शियस इंडिविजुअल आपके दिमाग में बत्ती स्टार्ट होगी. योर अटैचमेंट सिस्टम विल गेट एक्टिवेटेड. ओ माय गॉड, मैंने कुछ कर दिया क्या, मैंने कुछ बोल दिया क्या, मेरी टोन खराब थी क्या हो गया, इसने ऐसे क्यों बात करी मुझसे अभी. पीपल विद एन एंग्शियस अटैचमेंट स्टाइल tend to jump to conclusions very quickly, and when they do, they tend to misinterpret people's emotional state, which is what I did exactly right now. When anything happens, आप बहुत जल्दी conclusions पे jump कर जाते हैं कि shit, मैंने ही कुछ कर दिया होगा, या इसने ऐसा behave किया क्योंकि इसके साथ कुछ हुआ होएगा. जब आप ऐसा कर रहे हैं, आप अपने partner का emotional state को misinterpret कर रहे हैं. You are literally misreading your partner's emotional state. Once activated, they are often consumed with thoughts that have a single purpose: to re-establish closeness with their partner. These thoughts जो आपको आते हैं, these are called activating strategies. Now I'll be explaining what activating strategies are. These are the thoughts and the feelings जो आपको compel करती हैं to become close to your partner, that compel you to seek that closeness, that know what's wrong, tell me what's wrong, let's fix it ASAP. Thinking about your mate, difficulty concentrating on other things, remembering only their good qualities, putting them on a pedestal, underestimating your talents and abilities and overestimating theirs, an anxious feeling that goes away only when you are in contact with them, believing this is your only chance in love, as in, I'm only compatible with very few people. What are the chances I'll find another person like him or her? It takes years to meet someone new. I'll end up alone. Believing that even though you're unhappy, you'd better not let go, as in, now these are the three most important activating strategies. If he or she leaves me, they'll turn into a great partner for someone else. He can change or she can change. All couples have problems. We are not special in that regard. So अभी मैं generalize नहीं कर रही हूँ ये सब चीजें कि like अगर आपको ये सब thoughts आ रहे हैं तो आप anxious हो. That's not what I'm stating. But to conclude this in a small paragraph, I can say that when you have an anxious attachment style now, आप बहुत जल्दी conclusions पे jump कर जाते हैं and you tend to have these thoughts जो फटक से आते हैं आपके ब्रेन में, और ये सिर्फ तभी जाते हैं जब आप अपने पार्टनर से बात करें, जब आप उनके कांटेक्ट में आए. Only then attachment system calms down and you're like, okay, no, it's fine, कुछ नहीं था, chill, it's okay. This is what having activating strategies means. Activated attachment system, let me break it down for you what this. जब आपका अटैचमेंट सिस्टम जब आपकी नीड फॉर क्लोजनेस किसी से बढ़ जाती है, आपको अपने पार्टनर से तुरंत कांटेक्ट एस्टैब्लिश करने की जरूरत होती है, नो दैट फियर अराइजेस की व्हाट इफ ही और शी लीव्स मी, या क्या हो गया, कुछ हो गया क्या, कुछ बहुत बड़ा हो गया क्या, एंड दीज थॉट्स स्टार्ट कमिंग इनटू योर ब्रेन ना, उसको अटैचमेंट सिस्टम को एक्टिवेट होना कहते हैं. Like you start thinking what's wrong in the relationship. What this book states in page 93 is that an activated attachment system is not passionate love. True love in the evolutionary sense means peace of mind. Still water runs deep is a good way of characterizing it. इसका मतलब ये है, जब आप पानी को ग्राउंड वाटर जब आप देखते हैं तो ग्राउंड वाटर हमेशा स्टेबल होता है और आप कितना अंदर जमीन में खोद सकते हैं. यू कैन जस्ट dig very deep into the layers of the soil, and the water that you find there, it's stagnant, it's still. So the water that seeps down, it's still water and it runs very deep into the ground, which means जितना calmness आप feel करते हैं प्यार में, that is a clear indication of how deep your love is. And the more restless and more anxious you are, it shows that it's not passionate love that you're assuming it to be. What are some traits that can define कि आप anxious हैं? You want closeness and intimacy. You are very sensitive to any signs of rejection. You find it hard to tell your partner directly what you need and what's bothering you. And you use protest behavior instead. What is protest behavior? Letting your attachment system get the best of you. For example, excessive attempts to re-establish contact, calling, texting, or emailing many times, waiting for a phone call. That's protest behavior. Keeping score. This is something that I do. Paying attention to how long it took them to return your phone call and waiting just as long to return theirs. If she's not answering my calls, I won't leave her a message. Yeah, if he's not answering my calls, I won't leave him a message. Threatening to leave. Making threats. We are not getting along. I don't think I can do this anymore. I knew we weren't really right for each other. I'll be better off without you. All the while hoping that he or she, like the other person, will stop you from leaving. Manipulation. Acting busy or unapproachable. Ignoring phone calls. Saying you have plans when you don't. Now, these are some things that you will do as an anxious person जब आपका attachment system activate होता है, because it's sort of a way that you cope with that anxiety. मतलब जब आपका partner finally आपके साथ contact re-establish करके आपको बोलता है sorry I was busy, I was doing this, I was doing that, you as an anxious person, you will try to keep score, you will try to be a little manipulative, you'll try making threats. These are the kind of actions that you subconsciously or unknowingly do as an anxious person, but these can be very harmful to your relationship as a whole and to your personal character as well. You're not being very honest with what is really bothering you. Making him or her feel jealous. Making plans to get together with an ex for lunch. Going out with friends to a singles bar. Telling your partner about someone who hit on you today. Now these are things that can hurt your partner and that can make him or her feel like अरे क्या हो गया यार, like what's wrong. Like ये जो passive aggressive type का behavior होता है that you display as an anxious person, it can be really hurtful to your partner. Whether or not your partner is avoidant or secure or anxious like you, it can be very hurting because you don't realize कि आप ऐसा act कर रहे हैं. Now to conclude the anxious attachment style, what happens when you follow common dating advice? What does common dating advice from your friends, from your family means? I don't even need to look at the book for me to tell you this, but what common dating advice says is that, don't call, don't text, you also don't respond for a few hours, you also do what the other person did, which is really not gonna help you. I know that your friends, your family, all of us want the best for the people around us, but things like this, acting in an opposing way when you're faced with opposition already, it will really mess with your mind in the long run. Highly important chapter that I think everybody should listen to. Say you decide to follow the advice of many popular relationship books. They offer guidelines to help you land a partner, such as don't make yourself available, say you're busy even when you're not, Don't call him. Wait for him to call you. Don't appear to care too much. Act mysterious. Presumably, you preserve your dignity and independence in this way and gain your partner's respect. But in fact, what you're doing is behaving in a way that is not true to your genuine needs and feelings. आपके Instagram feed पे, Instagram page पे, YouTube पे, हर जगह you must be seeing this advice. Initially, तो you will build this presence of yours that you are very self-reliant and you're very independent and you have a big dignity and all. But when the other person who is presumably an avoidant will get together with you, उनको realize होगा कि oh my god, this person is not like this. They are not the way they have acted. And I'll continue to tell you why they will think so. You wave these aside to appear strong and self-sufficient. And indeed, these books and the advice they give are right. These behaviors may indeed make you seem more attractive. What they don't mention, because they are unaware of attachment science, is that they will make you seem more attractive to a very particular kind of partner, which is the avoidant person. Why is it so? Because in essence, what they are advocating is that you ignore your needs and let the other person determine the amount of closeness or distance in the relationship. The avoidant person can have his or her cake and eat it too, so to speak. He or she can enjoy the thrill and closeness you naturally project when you are together without having to consider your needs for intimacy and togetherness the rest of the time. By being someone you're not, you are allowing another to be with you on his or her own terms and come and go as he or she pleases. Now these are the characteristics जो एक avoidant person को attract करेंगी, and then if you have followed this common dating advice from apps and videos and reels, you will tend to attract someone that is avoidant in nature. Here are a few tips from the book itself that will help you understand what you need to do as an anxious person and how you can act on dates. Acknowledge and accept your true relationship needs. The person as an anxious person, आप continuously यही सोचते रहेंगे कि मेरे needs relevant नहीं है relationship में. It's not important for me to state them. It's not important for me to tell the other person. It's fine. I'm thinking too much. I'm giving this thing too much importance. मुझे ऐसा नहीं सोचना चाहिए. Let's say you're someone who wants to know about your partner's locations, preferably at all times, that where you're going, just keep me updated. But when you're on a date with the other person and when you know that date is going serious, आप communicate ही नहीं करते हैं ये need. You're like, नहीं यार, मुझे इतना जल्दी बोलने की जरूरत नहीं है, तो गलत है, I should not. No. They aren't good or bad. They are simply your needs. Don't let people make you feel guilty for acting needy or dependent. You're just like, nahi, it will sound very needy, it will sound very dependent, I should not do it. Absolutely not. Know that they are your needs. And if you need it, then it's very normal. Because there is someone out there that is willing to accept that need of yours and give it to you. Now, the second point is recognize and rule out avoidant prospects early on. How can you do that? Now, there are smoking guns that indicate you're dating someone avoidant. Again, disclaimer, I'm not generalizing this. And इस advice के ही हिसाब से आप ये मत conclude कर लेना कि आप आपका partner avoidant है. But these are some smoking guns. So if you're stepping into the dating pool, if you're going out on dates, these are some signs that you can look out for that are traits of avoidant people and how you can remove them as future prospects. Sending mixed messages. Longs for an ideal relationship. Now, an avoidant person will usually think that, oh, there is the one person specifically made for me. And if अगर आपकी थोड़ी सी भी trait यहाँ वहाँ हो रही है, you're not the one for me. Desperately wants to meet the one. Matlab, they have a checklist and that's like 100 things that are there in that checklist. Disregards your emotional well-being. Suggests that you're too needy, sensitive, or overreacting. Ignores things that you say that inconvenience him or her. Matlab, suppose you've addressed a topic with your partner, suppose you've addressed a topic with someone that you're dating, and they don't respond to it, or they change the topic instead. Topic gets shifted. this is a smoking gun. Addresses your concerns in a court of law. इसका मतलब क्या है? Responding to the facts without taking your feelings into account. Suppose you have a fight with your person. You are upset by some of their actions. आपको उनकी कोई action नहीं पसंद आई, आपको बहुत hurt हुआ, आपको बहुत बुरा feel हुआ, and you tried communicating it to them. बट उन्होंने सिर्फ फैक्चुअली उस चीज को एड्रेस किया कि फैक्चुअली तो यार मैंने इस हिसाब से इस एक्शन को किया था, तो तुझे बुरा लगने की तो कोई जरूरत ही नहीं होनी चाहिए. इट्स नॉट हाउ यू एक्ट. As a person, you understand that the other person felt something and said it to you. और उन्हें बुरा इस चीज का लगा because they have those certain feelings towards you. And finally, your messages don't get across. Despite your best efforts to communicate your needs, he or she doesn't seem to get the message or else ignores it. Or else, they do seem to get the message, they do seem to understand it, but their actions are on a completely different track. Like it's completely opposite to what they just said, that they were going to do. Why I said this last part is because the book says on page number 101, he or she may say the right things at times. Matlab, sometimes, this also happens that the words are very nice of the other person. The way they speak to you, it can be very convincing that, oh, okay, it's fine. He or she has understood. It's okay, it's fine. But in a few days, the actions convey something completely else and you're like, now what's happening? Finally, you need to give secure people a chance. If you are an anxious person, you need to... now there is a gravitational pull that's there between an anxious and an avoidant individual. I'll also talk about it in the next chapter. As an anxious person, you need to give a secure person a chance in your life, because otherwise, other than that, you'll just be constantly attracting emotionally unavailable people, and you let that emotion unavailability turn you on and be like, oh my god, this person is for me. So this is how we conclude the anxious attachment style video. I hope this video helped you in some way or the other in understanding what kind of attachment style you have, and if you have an anxious one or not, or if you know someone in your life that does project or seem to project some of these traits, you can forward this video, you can share this video with them, so that they can understand that they are anxious. Essentially, most anxious people don't need to be told that they are anxious, but this might make them or help them understand whether or not they associate themselves with these needs and what they can do to prevent this from happening. The third and fourth part of the video, I'll be linking those two in the description of this video itself. So I do hope you watch the fourth part, which talks about the secure attachment style and how you can strive to become a more secure person, or develop attachments that are secure in nature. And yeah, that's it for this video. See you in the next video. Bye bye.